Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. The names that you just heard me say there are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. The true name of the Heavenly Father in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, and the true name of the Son of the Heavenly Father in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. God, Jehovah, Yahweh, those are false names. Those are not the true names of the Heavenly Father. Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahshua, whatever comes to people's mind, those are not the true names of the Heavenly Father's Son. The true name, again, of the Heavenly Father and His Son, again, the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the true name of the Son of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is Yahweh Shai. And those names could only be believed upon in faith, and those are the true names that you must call upon if you want to be delivered. Now, was meditating last night, and eventually it led me to Matthew, the 14th chapter. And as I was meditating and reading this chapter here, dealing with Yahushua walking on water, and then eventually Peter walking on water, I want to, Lord's willing, name the title of this lesson that you too can walk on water. Because we're coming into eventually Jacob's trouble, and you have your own personal tribulations, your temptations and things like that that you go through, right? And like I was mentioning, also coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, and Lord's willing, I am able to explain what I mean by you too can also walk on water. So we'll go into it and I'll explain my meditations as I was reading this chapter last night. So this is Matthew chapter 14 and verse 22. And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship, and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship now, in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched out forth his hand, and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? So, like I said, I want to name the title something along the lines of You Too Can Walk on Water, right? And after reading this, you can liken, right, going back to... Let's start back at verse 24. It says, But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And you can liken that wind being contrary, the waves, to the temptations and the tribulations that you go through in your life, right? And also an extension leading into Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble, you can liken it unto the waves, right? The wind being contrary. Things not going your way. It's turbulent. It's difficult to maneuver through this, right? But because of your faith in Yahushua, you too can walk on that water as Peter did, right? Because when Peter saw the Lord, what did Peter say? And Peter answered, verse 28, and Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And that's essentially what even Yahushua is saying unto us to this day, is to come, right? Have faith, come unto me. Right, that, hey, even though Jacob's trouble can be likened to the waves, right, being contrary, the wind being tossed to and fro, right? Look, come to me, believe in me, right? Have faith in me, and you too can also walk on that water. That, hey, even though, as it says in verse 30, but when he, which is Peter, saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and beginning to sink. So although the wind can be boisterous, although the winds will be contrary, whether it be the temptations that you go through in your life, or extending to Jacob's trouble, if you believe in Yahushua, if you have faith in Yahushua, you can also walk on that water. You can also go to Yahushua, right? You'll be able to go through those things, right? Like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, then shall they know who are my chosen. How are people going to know who the chosen of the Lord are? Because they're going to be seeing them go through things, and they're going to get out on the other side of it, while they're seeing other people not escaping trouble, right? That is how they're going to know who the chosen of the Heavenly Father are. That's how they're going to know, to a degree, that something is up with this man and his family, or this group of men, right? They're going to see, because again, the wind being boisterous and things like that, likening unto Jacob's trouble. Let's use that for an example, right? As I mentioned with 2nd Ezra 16, right? Jacob's trouble is that wind being boisterous, it's being contrary, right? It's not going how you want to go, right? So, but because of your faith in Yahushua, you'll be able to walk on that water. You'll be able to go through that tribulation. You'll be able to handle it and deal with it, right? As it says in 1 Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, chapter 10, verse 13, there's no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. See? So whatever you go through, the Heavenly Father will make a way for you to either escape or be able to bear it. And people are going to see that, and that's how they're going to know. While other people, they're going to see other people getting destroyed, they're going to see what the chosen, Lord's willing, we are of that number, or whoever may watch this video, they're going to see what you're going through things, and you're going through this hard time like it's nothing, right? The same thing, because even though there's no precept, right? There's no verse that says anything about the disciples' reaction. You can imagine the disciples' reaction. Say, yo, Peter, you walking on water. See? Right? So people are going to see that same thing with the elect. It's like, yo, he's like, how did he get out of that? Like, I saw somebody else get taken up, or they was in a situation they didn't escape. How is this man, his family, or this man, or these group of men escaping and getting out of this? It doesn't make any sense. Same thing with the disciples. It's like, yo, we see the Lord walking on water, but wait a minute, Peter's not walking on water. What's going on here? So it's the same thing, and that's what I want to get across in this video. And Lord's willing, through the Spirit, it increases your faith, and it's edifying that you too can also walk on that water. Same as Peter did. Why? Because of his faith in Yahushua. And because of Peter's faith in Yahushua, what did Yahushua say? Come. So it's the same thing with Jacob's trouble. Yahushua is on the other side of Jacob's trouble, right? And if you believe, Yahushua is saying what? Come. You got to go through it, right? Although, like with Peter, right? Peter believed and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee. And what did Yahushua say? He said, come. Although the wind was boisterous, although the winds was contrary, Peter's focus was what? On Yahushua, and he believed in what? For a couple of steps there, he was making it through. He was getting there. But when he started focusing on the winds and things like that, that's when he started to sink, because he started to lose faith. Right? But the Lord still got him, because what? He still pulled him up. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's another lesson in there as well, but I'm attacking it in this way. That, hey, if you believe in Yahushua, you can also walk on water. You can also go through those boisterous winds, right? Jacob's trouble, or the temptations that you go through in your life, and get through on the other side, because Yahushua is waiting for you on the other side of your temptations, where he will increase you and make you better. And through Jacob's trouble as well, Yahushua is on the other side as well, right? Which eventually will lead to salvation. So I have I believe 1 or 2 precepts here just to add on to the point, but Lord's willing, this video has been edifying. So I believe the precept have is 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. This Philippians chapter 3, excuse me, at verse 14. I press toward the mark of the high calling of the Heavenly Father in Hamashiach Yahushua. So hey, although those winds are boisterous, what? You have to press towards the mark of the high calling of the Heavenly Father in Yahushua, right? Although those winds will be boisterous, although things will be difficult, you still have to press towards. And that's in the spirit what Peter was doing when he was walking on the water. right? Because you got to imagine how it was. Don't think, like, oh, okay, Peter was just easily walking on the water. Those, while he was probably taking steps, just imagine, the wind was probably pushing him back a little bit, water splashing on him a little bit. But because his eyes was on Yahweh Shai, what? He was able to take those steps, however many steps he took, to walk towards Yahweh Shai. See? But after, when he started focusing too much on the boisterous winds, the sea being contrary, maybe some water splashed up in his face a little too hard and was like, oh shit, like, oh damn, like maybe one of the disciples, just saying, maybe one of the disciples said, yo, Peter, be careful, chill, you might sink. I'm like, oh shit, oh snap, I am walking on water. And then he started to sink, right? Not saying that that's what's written there, but just thinking out loud. So again, although those winds may be boisterous and contrary, if you focus on Yahweh Shai, if you believe on Yahweh Shai, you too can also walk on that water, right? And yes, men will be given spiritual powers, right, by the Heavenly Father through His Son to do miraculous things in His name, right? Which one of them may, be walking on water, flight, whatever it may be, spiritual strength. But as far as going through the tribulation, that also is spiritual strength as well. For the Lord to harden your mind, to give you faith. Spiritual power isn't just always just tied to, okay, you being able to fly, you being able to, jump really high, whatever. Being spiritually strong up there in the mind, being mentally strong spiritually, is also spiritual power. That is an advantage that most people don't have, right? Oh, okay. So don't think of spiritual power just as, oh no, it's 43. Also, always as, what you call it? I'm sorry, as, doing those feats as far as strength and healing people, being spiritually strong in the mind is also spiritual power as well. So this is Isaiah 43 and verse 1. But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. See, so you'll be going through those things, but what? The Lord said, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. So just as Peter was walking on that water, right? Because he believed in the Lord, what? We're also going to be going through, right? That water, that fire is likened unto your tribulations that you go through, your temptations, or extending into Jacob's trouble. But what? The Lord will be with us, so that way what? The water doesn't overtake us, right? Because of Peter's faith, he was walking on the water, and what? For a couple of steps, for a couple of seconds, that water didn't overtake him. He didn't just immediately fall into the water, because naturally or regularly, that's what's going to happen. If you try to, let's just use a pool, for example. If you try to be like Yahweh Shai or Peter and think, oh, I believe I'm just going to, just walk on this water too. No, you're about to take a deep dive into that pool, depending on how deep that pool is, right? I'm sorry. God damn. Right. So again, I kind of lost my train of thought there with that. I apologize. But going back to the waters and the fire, that although going through these things, right, they're going to be difficult and things like that, the Lord will make a way for us to get through. The Lord will open up a way for us to be able to, again, walk on that water. Whereas other people will drown and sink because of their lack of faith, right? Using Peter as an example, right? That although some people will fall or be kindled by the fire, right, it will overtake them, or the water will sweep them away. Because of your faith in Yahweh Shai, you will be able to walk on that water. You'll be able to go through things, even though you're in the midst of turbulent winds, turbulent water, right? Fire, the adversity being around you, you'll be able to deal with it and come out better on the other side. Whereas others will be destroyed, you will come out better. And Lord's willing, the men that I labor with and myself, and those of you who watch this video, you believers out there, we also come out on the other side better as well. So just wanted to make that short and sweet to the point. Didn't want to drag it along, but Lord's willing, this video has been edifying, and Lord's willing has uplifted your faith. And I'll end it here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.